Okay, we're back again, and this time we're going to um, review Tony Robbins based on what he said. As you may know, a while back he said something about the Me Too movement. I don't see where he said anything wrong with it, but we're going to review what they're going to show us and see if he said anything in the clip that he gave us, a clip that they're going to show on Good Morning America, so that we can see if he said anything to apologize for. He said something in this clip about the Me Too movement, and then he ended up having to apologize. Now, from what I see, I really didn't see anything that he needed to apologize for. But of course, the average woman can redirect anything that is said to them and make it an attack on them. And so that is what my opinion was happening here. But they didn't even listen to what he said and analyze what he said. It just turned it into an attack against the movement. But let's logically look at what he said.
Or though, with popular life coach Tony Robbins under fire over those comments about the Me Too movement. Robbins facing serious backlash after this video of one of his recent events went viral. The motivational speaker is now apologizing, and ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with more on this. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Amy. With his motivational teachings and lectures, he's one of the most famous self-help voices in the world. But online reaction to his latest comments on the Me Too movement was swift. Nearly 200,000 tweets, including actress Alyssa Milano, who wrote, "Wow, Tony Robbins, this is appalling. Good luck trying to recover from this."
And if that doesn't work, try something else.
This morning, Tony Robbins is apologizing for these onstage remarks about the Me Too movement.
But if you use the Me Too movement to try to get significance.
Now, you see, he says, they quote him down here. If, not the definite case, possible case, not the definite. If you remove the if and just says you use the Me Too movement, you meaning women, use the Me Too movement to try to get significance, but he did not say you. He put the not the definite case, but the possible case. Meaning if you possibly use the Me Too movement to try and gain significance and certainty. Okay, let's remember that, because that's what he's saying. He's not saying the ones that do use it for the right reason. He's talking about the people that don't use this movement for the right reasons, right? Because there's nothing to debate about women needing to have a voice when they're being assaulted. We're not debating that. That is not the debate here. They definitely need that. Nobody's debating that. The debate is the people that use this movement for the wrong reasons. And here, the only thing here is, did he say something insensitive to the movement itself, or something that was wrong, and or in out of alignment with the goals of the movement? So if he says something out of alignment with the goals of the movement, then I'm with the people that's behind the movement, and behind the uh, the movement itself. I wouldn't say the movement, but the goals of the movement, the goal to try to make workplaces and places safer for women. Yes, I'm with that. Let's deal with that. If he did something against the goals of trying to make places safer for women. But if he didn't, if he just said something that was just taken out of context and then misused to um, create a buzz, then that's wrong too. So let's take a look at it and see. So like we said, he said if, not the definite case, the possible case, which means it's not inclusive. It's a subset of the total set. Okay, moving on.
Certainty by attacking, destroying someone else, you haven't grown an ounce. All you've done is basically use a drug called significance to make yourself feel good.
Now, he said that based on a portion of these women that are just making accusations about men. A portion of women making accusations about men just to cause harm to their status and career, because they're upset with something that is not illegal, but is something that didn't go the way they wanted it to go. and he, as an American, should have a right to say that. Now, and they, as people in his audience, before they jump to conclusions, should say, let's think about what he said first. Let's go and listen to it again and think about what he said. But being a woman, this lady didn't do that, right? The lady, the first thing was, oh, you said something about Me Too. You're against Me Too. Oh no, you can't even say anything about it. You can't say nothing about that movement. Which, like we said, nobody's. There's no debate on whether women should be safer. There's no debate there. No, nobody. I don't think if you went and asked this man, do you think women should be safe? I mean, I don't think he would say, no, I don't think women should be safer. Therefore, we should get rid of the Me Too movement. No, I think Me Too has its place, but it should be everything has to be monitored so it can grow properly. And if the Me Too movement is not monitored properly, it's going to get to where it is now, where it's not monitored properly, a bunch of money thrown at it, and then it's not really being monitored in the proper way. So things like this will happen, where all the man said was, if a woman that's not the way to handle your displeasure with some man. You need to handle it another way. If it's not genuine, see, basically, if he's saying if you don't have a genuine reason to put somebody in that situation, you should not do it, and you definitely should not do it just to be harmful and attack that person or to create significance for yourself. That's basically what he said. But her being a woman, and other women that support her, they didn't want to hear that. If you say anything about the women's, anything that's not in their wheelhouse, you are attacking them. You therefore don't want women to be safe. You're therefore against the movement. You're therefore against everything that they're trying to do. And you're therefore against all of that. When he never said none of that or made no implications to that from where I sit. Okay, moving on.
Comments were made last month at one of Robbins' Unleash the Power Within events. It quickly went viral after the website Now This News posted this video clip of his exchange with audience member Nanine McCool.
So I think you misunderstand the Me Too movement.
Okay, so how does he misunderstand the movement when all he said was he was talking about the people that's not using it in the proper way? That's like me saying to all these black men getting killed and me going to the police and saying, hey, you guys, man, it's good that you are here, but it's better if the ones of you guys, if the police that's shooting down people in the wrong way, that doesn't happen. You know, we need police, but if you're just shooting down people because of you got some issues at home or you got some issues, your own issues, and that's why you're shooting people instead of shooting them because your life is in danger, then that's wrong. That's like me saying that to a cop. So now if I say that, I'm against cops because I say, hey, you should only shoot the bad guys. You got to take an extra look to see who's the bad guy, who's not the bad guy. You can't just categorize people as a bad guy so you can shoot them and then say that's it. Now I'm against the cops. But that's a kind of yo-yo mentality that has gotten everything crazy because people say that say it against you. It's like the same argument when people say, well, you for black people, so you're against white people. How am I against white people when I'm for black people? I'm just for black people too, right? Hey, white people, knock yourself out, be happy. Get it. But how come I can't be for black people to get it too? What's wrong with that? Anyway, whatever. Same mentality, used different way. Anyway, excuse me. So she's saying to him, hey, so I think you misunderstand the Me Too movement. Why is he's not misunderstanding the Me Too movement? And you're gonna see when she really thinks about it, she's gonna run out of gas. And then the movement has to pick her up. The other people and these other people that chimed in on Twitter and everything had to pick her back up because she runs out of gas when she actually thinks about it. Watch.
I think the need...
Not for you personally. What you're seeing is people making themselves significant by making somebody else wrong and getting certainty.
Okay, so she took that as him saying everybody that's involved. But he already said if in the beginning. He said if. So he's not talking about all of the people. Maybe he should have did a better job of clarifying that. But you can obviously see, if you're thinking, that this man was not talking about the total movement. He was talking about the people that, the hangers on, that kind of join on just to bring somebody down because they mad at them, or things didn't go the way, or they got dumped, or whatever, or the date was bad or something, and they feel like, oh, now I can say this about them and ruin them. Ha ha ha. Because, right, women, what do they care whether you lose your job, lose your family? What do they care, right? What do they care? I mean, most of them. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying every woman is like that, but really, what do they care? They got so many guys coming at them all the time. What do they care if you go down? You taking care of your mama, your daddy, your children, your wife, or whatever you got going on. You taking care of all these people, and somebody accuse you of something, and it ain't even got nothing. It's not even real. It's not. It's untrue. What does she care? You go down, man. What does she care, right? What does she care? Until it happens to her dad, till it happens to her dad or her son or her brother. Now they come out the woodwork. Oh, wait a minute. Men are getting a bad deal. Yeah, because your boy is getting done wrong. Your husband getting done wrong, or your brother's getting done wrong. Your cousin or your uncle. Now you see what we're talking about. Anyway, moving on.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It just won't make you happy. I'm not knocking the Me Too movement. I'm knocking.
Did he just say he's not knocking the Me Too movement? He's knocking the victimhood. And what he should have said was, I'm knocking the irrelevant victimhood. People that's doing that and with unjustly. Because we're not talking about the just. We're talking about the unjust. Right? That's the case we're talking about. Not the proper case, the unjust case. Okay, moving on. But I'm just trying to show you how you got to be better. We have to be better with our words in a climate like this. If you're not better with your words, he could have said this any kind of way. They still could take this and run. And that, with the Me Too movement, man, they can take whatever you say, flip it, and run with it. Next thing you know, they got darts all over your face is on a dartboard. They can do whatever they want to do with you. Right? Okay, moving on.
Victimhood.
But McCool pushes back.
And certainly there.
Push back to what? Pushing back to what? What was she pushing back to? That's what I'm saying. Now she pushing back. Like, for what? The man didn't push nobody. He said, if he's talking about the people that's the unjust case, I don't want to say substantial. They're doing it not in the proper, they're not using the movement in the proper way. They're not using it in the proper light and causing destruction to people unjustly. That's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. So what you need with a pushback, right? That's like a serial murder kills a bunch of people. The court sentenced the man to death. The man screams and hollers in the courtroom and says, "You're wrong. They got the DNA. They got everything to convict this man." The man pushed back and say, "Hey, you wrong for murdering me. You're wrong." Push back for what? What? How you gonna push back? That's the logical way that's gonna go. That's not nothing wrong with that. You murdered all those people you like to kill. Die. Anyway, that's a whole nother argument. But what I'm saying is, there's no reason for her to push back. It's unnecessary for her to push back. There's no need for it. She should have just sat down and thought about what he said. But she's gonna run into some shallow waters right here.
There are people who are using it for their own personal development.
Okay, so right now she just right there admitted it. She says certainly there are people who are using it, meaning the Me Too movement, for their own personal devices. So she just admitted what he just said. She just agreed that he just said that. Now, how was that a pushback? Now she's on his side. Okay. But let me say, but being a woman and the freedom that a woman have to just jump ship anytime they get ready, she is on his side right then, and now she's gonna completely flip the script to do something that doesn't even need to be done, which is defending the movement that doesn't even need to be defended. Okay, let's see it.
Also a significant number of people who are using it not to to
There's troubled
relive
waters.
whatever may or happened to them, but to make it safe for the young women.
Well, when now? Okay, when did he say anything that was in in opposition to that statement? Where she said the movement's trying to make it safer for young women. When he never said nothing in opposition to that, but yet she had to, because she ran up against us, because she actually thought about what he was saying, and it stopped her. You see, she got stuck, and she had to put out there and make it look like him. So because he came out and said something, at first she didn't understand, but in midway through thinking about it, she understood. But instead of stopping and saying, you know what, Tony, you right, you know what, that's true, but just remember that this movement is about, it's got a lot more people involved with it than just the people you're talking about. There's a lot of people, a lot of victims out there. But instead of that, she said that, you misunderstood the movement. You misunderstand. How did he misunderstand? He didn't misunderstand nothing. He was very clear about what he said. He could have said a little better, but he was clear. He was talking about the case of people that's not doing this properly, right? Okay. Anyway, so she threw him under the bus and said that he misunderstood the movement is trying to make women safe. So basically she said, you don't know that this movement is about trying to make women safer. Like he don't know that. Of course he know that. But he was saying he was talking about the possible case, not the proper case. Okay. But of course, being a fast triggered woman, she got her hand on the trigger and ready to go at any time. And whether she understand what he was saying or not, and what she definitely not gonna do is back the stagecoach up and put the shit back in the horse and say, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have thought about it before I spoke. Who's gonna do something like that in front of 1,000 people? All right. Anyway, moving on.
Attitude and the things he said in there that he thinks are perfectly okay are exactly what's wrong.
What did he say? Okay, maybe, but what I heard so far, he didn't say nothing wrong. Okay, well, let me hear.
Point, Robbins invites McCool to join him, attempting to illustrate his point.
Put out your fist. Why are you pushing back? I didn't tell you to push back. Why are you pushing back?
Now that was stupid. I don't know why he came up on her and pushed her up on her and all of like that. I know he likes to do a lot of physical contact stuff, but hey, man, times are changing, Mr. Robbins. Well, at least he got all these witnesses in here. But times are changing, man. You can't be touching on these women and stuff no more, man. You gotta leave that alone, man. You can't be staying in the same hotel with them and all that. You gotta just leave that stuff alone, man. But hey, that's my little opinion. But anyway, moving on.
Why are you pushing so hard? When you push someone else, it doesn't make you more safe. It just makes them angry.
He then...
So what? What did he say there? She could have got up and left, right? She didn't get up and leave. Okay.
shared an example of how he's apparently seen the movement play out in real life.
I just with someone the other day, very famous man, very powerful man, who's saying how stressed he is because he interviewed 3 people that day. One was a woman, 2 were men. The one was better qualified, but she was very attractive, and he knew I can't have her around because it's too big a risk, and he hired somebody else. I've had a dozen men tell me this.
I was really shocked.
What the fuck? What are you shocked for? What do you think men are going to do in response to this situation? I'm not saying in response to Me Too. I'm talking about in response to the oversensitivity, the hypersensitivity of that situation, of the Me Too situation. Me Too is necessary to protect women. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the hypersensitivity. And here's the major problem that you have with women in the workplace. I'm going to tell you the major situation. Women in the workplace is a dangerous situation, and here's why. Because if you have men in the workplace and then you put a woman in that workplace, there's a reason why the men on sailors never wanted women on the ships. Here's a major reason why. Because men have a physiological disadvantage being around women. When you're around a woman, you automatically are going to be attracted to just the female in particular. Just the female in particular. So women think that you and me, men, are like them. When they have a rating system, they decide whether they're going to deal with somebody by rating them. Men are not like that most of the time. Most men do not deal with women on a rating system. They are attracted to whoever is closest to them at the time, female. And that is a natural thing. That is a natural form. So now you have a biological disadvantage being in a workspace with a woman. Something bad is going to happen. If you got 10 guys working with at least 1 or 2 women, something bad is going to happen. Absolutely. And so they look at it like this. They say, hey, we going to just give you memos and a manual, and that's going to teach you that you can't be this way. Well, yes and no. You may learn that, but ultimately you're gonna learn from watching somebody else go down in flames, or if you don't go, you ain't the one that going down in flames yourself. Because there is no rule book for men. Nobody tells men, hey, this is too much, this is too no. You have to kind of burn your way, burn your hands in burn enough, in cooking. There's like, if you're trying to cook something that you really want to eat, and you just got to cook it a bunch of different times, cook a bunch of different ways till you find out a way how you cook. You got to burn a bunch of stuff. You got to burn a bunch of dishes to finally get there. That's how we are, unfortunately, because there's no, okay, we're gonna sit. There's no like an NBA rookie class. And they sit everybody down and say, okay, this is what you can't do. This is what they come on a job and they teach you mutual respect and sexual harassment and all of that stuff. But when you actually get there, now you at a biological disadvantage, because a woman has the pheromones that's going to turn you into, make you crazy after a few times, and it's designed that way. It's designed that way. So it's not your fault that you're like that. It's God made it that way so that you can try to always try to protect and look out for these women, and be with a woman and try to look out and pull her into your fold if she's worthy, if she is deserving, and you find her suitable. Then you can do that. But you always got your eye open, because that's how God designed you like that, not me. God designed you like that. So you got to go through a training to not go against your biological callings, right? You got to go through the mutual respect and the sexual harassment and learning to work together in the workplace and all of that stuff you got to go through, right? But I'm saying, when you put women in the workplace, that things are going to happen. That's why men are saying it ain't worth it to hire a woman in a workplace where you got a bunch of men. It's just not worth it. You can get in so many different trouble, and a woman can just come in and women even see that when they start hiring women in their businesses. They see, oh, ay, the problems that it caused. And I'm not saying all women are like that, but I'm saying it definitely puts the business at risk. So the question is with these people is, well, you cannot hire a woman just because she's going to cause a problem and might close the business down. You still should hire a woman, right? And then the business owner's like, yeah, but if I hire this woman, somebody's going to do something stupid and she's going to close my doors, and I'm going to end up getting sued for millions of dollars. That's how men are looking at it. I mean, you can't blame men for taking a defensive posture on this issue. But I think as more women become business owners, more women can hire more women. But I don't even think women hire women. I don't think women hire that many women. Women hire the hardest worker, whoever it is, a woman or a man. But typically it's going to be the man, because a man ain't going to take no break to breastfeed, put no breast milk in no pump. Man ain't going to do that. Man ain't going to take days off to go take Johnny to the doctor. And the man is just, most men are not doing that. Typically the woman is doing those things. So that's why men get paid more, because they on the job more. they don't never leave. They working 80 hours a week on the job. Dad, you didn't go to my baseball game. Dad, you ain't here. Dad, you ain't there. Dad, you ain't there. This coming home, whose boots are these under the dresser? What, because you're working your ass off to try to pay for all of these bills. But that's just a man perspective. That's a man perspective on it. But like I said, so far I don't see nothing this man need to apologize for. And like I said, a lot of men are going to take the approach like, man, women are just too dangerous. It's just cheaper to have them sue me for not hiring you, as opposed to suing me for sexual harassment. That's cheaper, because you know you're gonna sue me for either one. You might as well sue me for not hiring you as a woman. I can deal with that. I can keep up with that one. Sexual harassment one, I'll never win that one. That's how most men think. Anyway.
That's why him saying that. It was a terrible example, horrible.
Even the founder of #MeToo, Tarana Burke, slamming the self-help guru, posting, "Tony Robbins, if you talk more to survivors and less sexist businessmen, maybe you'll understand what we want. We want safety, we want healing, we want accountability."
Yeah. And they saying, I can't guarantee any of that for you. Only thing I can guarantee is that I train my people that way. I can't guarantee that you're gonna be safe. We can't guarantee you're gonna be safe. We can't heal you. We can keep people accountable, but accountability means I'm gonna pay for it. You know, you ain't gonna sue the guy that actually did it. You're gonna sue the company. That would be a different thing if you could say, oh, I'm just going to sue him personally. Whoever did whatever they did to me, I'm going to sue that person personally. I'm not going to sue the company. I'm going to sue that person. Why is the company involved? Well, we did all the training that we could. We can't, I can't, it's like a guy get a job selling encyclopedias door to door. He go to somebody's house and he kills somebody. You going to sue the encyclopedia company? They didn't know they did a background check on him. He was fine. Everything was good. They didn't know him and his wife were fighting and the guy was going to kill everybody in the house. They didn't know that. But now it's their fault. I guess it is, right? Or what? I mean, what are you going to do? So why should we, if we in that situation and we try, one thing we could do is screen. You can't. I mean, what are you going to do? You can try to, if you could say, hey, sue the person that actually did it. The person that actually did this, sue them, or the person that's keep them accountable. If the magazine place, or the encyclopedia place knew this dude was crazy and sent him out there, then okay, you sue them. They knew better. But man, they didn't know. How you know? And people go to work every day, man, and they just snap and just kill people. Who knows? Who knows what's going to do what? We want women safe too. We want them to be healed too, and we want people accountable who assault and abuse them. We want people accountable, but at the same time, you hold the person accountable that did it. Hold that person accountable, and anybody else that was helping that person. If it's people that was helping them and people that know that they did that, say for example, the company was like a Harvey Weinstein situation. People knew that he was doing that and still was making it accessible for him to do it to other people, then you hold them accountable. But anyway, when they say accountability, they usually talk about they want not the person but the company to pay for it.
Robbins is now apologizing, writing on Facebook, "I watch in awe as more and more women all over the world find their voice and stand up and speak out. All of our growth begins with learning. It is clear that I still have much to learn. I need to get connected to the brave women of #MeToo."
And Robbins says that there is more to come. And some of his followers are supporting him online, saying that his comments were simply misunderstood. And
yeah, I'm one of those people, because I look at him, what he said, and I didn't see nothing wrong with it, but it was not misunderstood. It was actually taken out of context and then taken and used to him, rolled up in a piñata and rolled up in a bat and used to bash him with it. But like I said, they use anybody to get traction in a dying movement, or a movement that's not based on it started out with a good intention, and it's when you get so many different types of people involved with a movement like that, and then enough money thrown at it, you can get people get crazy, and the movement start going off the rail, and that's what's happening with it. But of course, no one involved with it is going to admit that.
McCool, the woman who was in the audience, told us that she thinks his apology could have been better, but she called it a good start. Amy.
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. And Larry Hackett, partner at 1010 Media, joins us with more about how this will affect Robbins. And
this cuck right here, but we're going to see what he's got to say.
So it's one thing to read the comments. It's another thing to actually see this video. How bad is this video for Tony Robbins?
The optics are terrible. I mean, first, the comment about significance, I don't really quite understand. The vision of him pushing against that woman, he's 6'7", is really...
Yeah, now that was bad. I agree with him on that. That was bad. He shouldn't have never did that.
Kind of frightening. And then the idea of this kind of anecdote about a guy he knows who won't hire a woman because he doesn't want to deal with the hassle. It's unbelievable.
Basically, it'll be worse for you women if you continue to push back.
Exactly.
No. That's not what he said. What he said is it's going to be worse for you because of the people that's misusing the movement. I mean, clearly just taking the man's words out of context and not putting. But see, like I said, they got to feed the dragon. They got to keep on going and misrepresenting this man, continuously misrepresenting this man, and that to me, that's wicked. You misrepresenting the man on purpose, because you know what he said wasn't a bad thing, but now the shit is going downhill. You can't get the lava back into the volcano, and now everybody's got to jump on board to ride it all the way out and burn the man up if you got to, but just to get traction on the movement.
Tony Robbins' stock and trade is two things. One is empathy, right? That he understands people. This is terrible for that kind of message. The second thing is his connection to celebrities. They will be running away, stampeding away from him after what he's...
And you know what? He's absolutely right. They probably already stampeding away, even though, and nobody will come out to defend the man because they can't afford to.
Said here, he needs to connect with people fast if he wants to fix his situation.
Alyssa Milano said good luck trying to recover from this. He did apologize. Was that enough?
It's not enough. He needs to amp that up. His whole thing is about transforming what's within you. He needs to transform what's within him and apologize profusely.
He doesn't need to transform nothing within him. He didn't say anything wrong. He just could have said it a different way.
Continuously and loudly if he hopes to get out of this hole.
And talk about how high the stakes are for someone like Tony Robbins.
Well, again, Tony Robbins is selling Tony Robbins. It's the whole idea, but what it is, his self-help program is really about him, his empathetic nature, his friendliness. If you're seen on national television or now virally on the web being basically hostile or at the very least not understanding what millions of women are going through, and
how does he not understand? What the fuck are you talking about, man? The dude understands everything, and he never said he didn't understand. She said he didn't understand. She said he didn't understand. He understood, and he made the case clear that he was talking about the people that not using movement properly.
And quite frankly understand, I think it puts a complete hole in your business.
What do you think this does for the Me Too movement? I know so many women who have been harassed and abused watch this video and are even further empowered to speak up and speak loudly.
Let's remember, this movement is relatively new. It's only been several months since the Harvey Weinstein debacle, right? I think things like this tested, and they came out very, very well. Their message was clear, simple, straightforward, not overly, not too strong, right, and I thought it was good.
Because the problem is real.
Exactly, and they made it real, and they continued forward. And Tony Robbins is just a little bump on the road to where they need to.
A bump on the road. The man he was in agreement with them.
To go.
All right, Larry Haggett, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, so now we see that this is just how this movement and this type of thinking process can get everybody caught up, and before you know it, it's a avalanche. He said something, and he didn't even say anything in a disagreement with nothing they said. He said he was talking about people that are using the movement to do other things, not the people that actually were getting assaulted and stuff. So, but they turned it into him attacking the movement. Now they're running around saying that he's attacking this movement. He doesn't know what he's talking about. When he needs to talk to survivors, because when that have nothing to do with what he was saying, nothing to do with what he was saying. But like I said, if you work with women, don't talk to them at work. Don't say nothing to them at work. This is the kind of thing that can happen. You say one wrong thing, and it can be tripped out of control, turned out of control, and next thing you know, you are sitting in your boss's office with a couple of days off, signing a notice to correct with a couple of days off because you said something. Somebody overheard you said something, or you said something to one person told another person, and another person told another person. And you got to watch what you say to these cucks now. You work with these cucks at work, and I don't mean to say cuck in a bad way. When I'm saying cuck in a way that that's their personality, meaning that they are very uh, they're very sensitive to um, creating drama by promoting problems that women are having, or promoting drama, not necessarily an issue, but making things an issue. And so when you see something like that, when you see people like that, you gotta not talk to cats like that at work, man. So not only do women, you definitely gotta have a witness every time you're around a woman. You gotta have a witness when you're at work. You gotta have a woman around at all times. I mean, another witness around at all times. And then on top of that, you can't be even talking to guys. You gotta make sure they're not a cuck, because if they're a cuck, and when I say cuck, I mean cuckold, meaning that they are trying to start problems in by uh, 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 what's the word I want to use, by seeming or pretending that they're sympathetic to women's issues, in overhearing something being said that they can turn into something that's insensitive to women's issues. They can run back to the women, and for that, the payment they get is they get snuggle up a little closer to somebody at the expense of something you said that may be true, but you may say something that is true just to help them or warn them about a situation. They will take it back and say, oh, Johnny said that we need to have, you need to have a witness every time you go around. And to most women will take that, even that, as why you need a witness, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm gonna get sued, right? But they will take that as sexist. How's that sexist? I just don't want no. I don't. It's not because I don't want to get sued. That's my point. And what's wrong with me not wanting to get sued? Is there something wrong with that? Obviously, in the women's world, it is. All right. Be careful out there. Don't talk to these women at work by yourself. Always have a witness present, and watch the cucks out there.